What's going on YouTube? So I'm doing another video on explaining press grills, but not actually press grills, but how to get the grill mesh to fit inside of your piece perfectly. Now, traditionally, you use something like some snips and you'll snip away at the grill mesh, you know, until you get it perfect, right? That's cool, but it's not always accurate. It's, you know, you might have a piece that goes in a little further, come out, and it's just not very uniform. So I'm going to show you the steps on how to make a jig so that no matter for your tolerance, it always fits inside perfectly. So first step, you need to actually make a press grill box, and then you press out your grill, right? You do this, take it over to your press it out, come back, and you pop this off, right? Which then leaves you with your shape here. Now, of course, it's gonna fit in here like this, but of course it's not. When you have your piece here, it doesn't fit in here, right? So you try to trim away as much as you can, but when you're dealing with acrylic or pieces like this where you don't have that much space to do a really large, like 1/2 inch rabbet without coming in contact with your edge, so you have to do something like a 1/4 inch rabbet, which using a bit like this. So, and on the other side, we have a 45-degree chamfer using this bit here. We're gonna flush everything off using a 1/4 inch spiral. So, to achieve that, what we would do is double-sided tape the piece down. This is the way I do it. Some people do it a little differently. Some people don't do it at all. I don't know. But here is my piece, right? This is the piece that's press grill. Then I have my template. My template's gonna lay down here. And if you see here, it is reduced down exactly a 1/4 inch. And how I know that is because it fits in here perfectly. You can hear it snap in, and look at that. It's not falling out because it's exactly a 1/4. So you know that this is exactly reduced down a 1/4 inch from this piece, which then you can flip this over here, two-sided tape it down, and then we'll take this to the 1/4 inch spiral. And then we'll run this against the, you run this against the 1/4 inch spiral. Now you might say, well, it's just gonna tear up your bit. This aluminum is very soft. So what I would do first is try to rough cut using the snips as close to the edge as possible. So what I'll do is take a, let me see, hold on. Take a marker, and I would mark the outer perimeter, right? Take a silver Sharpie and just kind of mark the outer perimeter. This is going to give you a guide that you can cut with your snips, right? And then once that is done, then we can actually flush, oops, sorry. We can then reattach this piece so that you don't have all this excess that we're cutting into when we're using the 1/4 inch spiral. So let me get that loaded up, and then I can show you how that works on the router. All right, now with the tape removed, the grills have been inserted, and like I said, everything is in there flush. You can see the rabbet because it's clear acrylic, where the grill mesh lines up with that 1/4. Look at that, perfectly. All the way through. It's not falling out. Holding it. Look at that, it's in there. and it's repeatable. Well, yeah, it just works. Depending, like I say, if you don't have the space, I mean, you can always add tabs. You can tap it, depending on how thick you have. You might be able to tap it and do like some screws to, you know, help lock it in place. You know, do CA glue. A couple different things you can do to secure it, but for the most part, like I said, it is in there. Not even for the most part. I mean, it's in there. It's locked in place. It's not going anywhere. Like I said, you can see the press lines from where it's been 3D pressed. So yeah, it just works. I mean, look at that. And you can do this, you know, different applications. You know, you name it, it's repeatable. I still do press out of wood. There's sometimes when it's shapes that I need a really hard line on, I use a scrap acrylic, just because unlike wood, which when you press it, wood is a soft material and it will kind of bend and contour. The acrylic is really hard. It's a polycarbonate. So when you press against it, it'll give you the harder lines when you compare it to doing wood. And again, like I said, that's just my personal opinion on it. I've done presses out of wood for years, no problem. It's just when I came across an opportunity to actually try acrylic, and I said, man, you know, this is really pretty good. And I did it a couple more times and I just got repeatable results. So if it's a big piece, I'll use wood. If it's a small detailed piece where I need the lines to show up really sharp on the press grill, I'll use some acrylic. And you have less distortion at your corner points here, and here, without having to do a really larger radius. So sometimes when you have issues with your corners where, like for instance, if you had a piece of mesh here, it would kind of wobble once you press it down. With the acrylic, I've noticed that when I press down against it, it eliminates that because the outer and the inner is a harder material. So it's gonna mash that material down a lot harder, in my opinion. So yeah, that's another little tip that you can, you know, try out. So as you see here, this was the acrylic outer and then the acrylic inner. And that's exactly why I did it out of acrylic, was to keep that hard line. And it makes it easier to cut when you do use your snips. When you're doing your, I don't know if you call it a rough cut. I guess you can call it, consider it a rough cut. But yeah, so that's it. So like I said, you have the wooden, the metal dowels like I did in the other video about a year, maybe 2 years ago. Same thing, push that down. And then good to go. But yeah, if you got any questions, feel free to comment. I hope this helped the gentleman that asked me to do this. And again, you know, like I said, everything is, like I said, it's flush. Flush. Back side, front side. It's not falling out. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Make sure I'm just on just the acrylic. Yeah, it's not coming out. So, yep, repeatable. Like I said, look at that. See, I'm not grabbing the mesh, so I don't want anybody thinking like, oh, he's grabbing the mesh. No, this is all acrylic. It's just pressed in. So yeah, it works. Trust me. So yeah, again, like, comment, subscribe. Hope this helps. And keep fabbing, keep grinding, keep working, keep getting better. Take care, and thanks again. Have a great day.